Nick Saban, it's reported that Alabama, and we know, of course, they're coming off their championship. It's reported that Nick Saban is expected to have the greatest recruiting class, not only in the nation, okay, but Rob G, am I wrong? It could be the best recruiting class ever at Alabama?
Yep, according to CBS, 24/7 Sports, which is the composite recruiting service, they already have signed, assuming everybody, nobody flakes out the last minute, the highest rated recruiting class in in college football history.
And basically, it's based off of like how many 4 or 5 star players, correct?
Right.
Is that
correct?
Really?
Yeah. So
right.
It is their 9th number 1 class in 11 seasons, and the total composite score, because 5 stars get more points, whatever.
Right.
325 points, which is 26 points higher than the number 2.
My response to that is college football, as we know it, is dead. And I don't even, I look at it, if I'm a college football fan or I'm a Michigan fan or Ohio State or whatever school that you think you're in the mix for some national championship, just forget it. It's turned into the Alabama Invitational for the most part. You have
Alabama
Clemson
and
as well.
Clemson.
Right, Clemson. So those 2 schools, they get all the players, all the kids want to go there, and the other schools have to fend for themselves. How can you get excited about college football? I'm serious. Like we know what's going to happen at the end. Somebody already told me how the movie's going to end year after year after year. It's great if you're an Alabama fan, if you're Nick Saban or you're Clemson. Yes. Oh, this is great. Oh, really? I thought Ohio State had a chance to beat them. And they got embarrassed. And now you're telling me they got the greatest class ever coming in on top of what they just had? What is that supposed to mean? Should they even play, or should they just give them the trophy?
Let me ask you this, Rob. Is there any feeling, or should there be? Because I don't think there is. But do you think if, let's say, Alabama wins it next year, and I know they haven't won it every year, but Saban's got what, 7 now? 6 or 7? I think 7. If they win it again, should it get to a point where they don't feel the challenge? You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like,
no, because you have
not
new
the
kids.
players, but Saban, it's just so he should feel like they're getting
because it's new all the time. You always got new people coming in. It would be one thing if this was the NFL in the 50s or 60s where you had the same squad, right? And you went, or the Yankees in the 50s when they went to the World Series 8 out of 10 years. And attendance went down. And people were like, okay, I've seen this. Like you lose something after a while. I always say it. We all love ice cream until we start working at the ice cream factory. Then all of a sudden, we don't want it as much as we did. That's where I'm at with college football. I don't know how anybody's looking forward to the fall and the start of we can't wait for the polls and who's going to be number 1. And then we can't wait for the Final Four and when they pick the 4 schools that are going to be in the college football playoff. Exactly. Really?
Look, this college football season was tough. It was just so hard to follow. Games were getting postponed and canceled, and obviously Ohio State only played 5 during the regular season. Basketball, I don't even know how in the world you can follow this basketball season. It's just, I don't know what's going on with it. But I do agree with you that, I don't ever remember. Rob, it's 2-3 teams max. That's what it is. It's Alabama and Clemson and maybe Ohio State.
And we thought Ohio State had a shot. And look what happened.
Right. It is just, it's odd because, and you got to credit Nick Saban. He's not doing anything wrong. But if I don't know. I mean, some of these kids, they're going to Alabama to sit on the bench for a year or 2 and then get their turn to play. But they're still getting those recruits. And at the end of the day, you got to say this. You got to say Ohio State, Michigan isn't really in this class, but we'll throw in Michigan, If you want to say Notre Dame, who had a resurgent year this year, Georgia, obviously LSU was down, but, they're in that class. Like, they got to step it up, Rob. I don't know if they can, but they've got to, because it is becoming, to your point, it's hard to really get that excited about it other than who's going to win the conference, who's going to win the Big Ten. It's hard to get excited when you know it's going to be one of two teams winning the national championship for the most part.
I think it takes the thrill out. I really do. And if people want to go, I get it, Chris. There's nothing else to do on a Saturday. You live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You know what I mean? I get it.
Right.
There's only 6 home games or whatever it is, 6 or 7 home games Saturdays that you can go out with some friends and have some beers or whatever and some hot dogs. I understand that. And people are still going to do it. It doesn't mean that people won't do it or won't show up or won't watch the games. But I'm just talking about the thrill. You don't always know who's going to win, and in most sports, even when you think you do. But this is really, really down to almost a given, and that's dangerous when you get to that level. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Every time they win means every time there's a great kid playing at some high school, they want to play at Alabama.
Apparently.
That's the problem. They're not going to go like, oh, no, I'm the best quarterback in the country, and Alabama wants me, but I'm going to go to Michigan because Michigan hasn't won since the Louisiana Purchase. I want to be that guy to turn it around. No, they want to go play at Alabama and win.
Right, and what they're thinking is, I want to go where I can have the most eyeballs on me, the most attention, and get prepared for the NFL. And I see all these Alabama guys going to the NFL. That's where I want to go. And then, of course, they can win. So that's the thinking. And like I said, these other schools, you got to step it up. Is Alabama taking all the fun out of college football?
Ryan in the Bay Area, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Ryan?
What up, Kings?
What up, bro?
Hey, man. Right, real quick, right before I give my opinion about Alabama, I thought I'd clear up the Jordan bet real quick. Because how I see it, it was 2 pairs, $200 each. So if Chris wins, he will win 2 pairs up to $400. Because if you bet in the Vegas, if you bet beginning of the season to pick a team to the Super Bowl, you would get like a 10-1 odds, 5-1, whatever. So
that's what I thought, but apparently not.
So
what
if you bet in Vegas, and you say that someone's going to make the playoffs and they don't make the playoffs,
that's got
who wins
nothing
the
to
bet?
do with it. We talking about this.
All right, I just want to
If
make
you
sure.
had beef,
Since we're
you
talking
should've
about
said that about
Vegas,
that. You didn't
since
say
we were
nothing
talking
about
about Vegas, you would have lost that bet.
I didn't bring up Vegas.
Okay, he just brought up Vegas. Anyway, go ahead with your point.
That's all he wanted to say, I guess.
Greg in Houston, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, real talk, my fellas. I am a long-time, second-time caller, and all I want to say is like I side with both of what y'all saying to a certain extent, and here's why. I feel like Alabama is kind of like raising the stakes. You know what I mean? It's basically up to the colleges, the other colleges, just to figure it out. I mean, like they're the pinnacle, right? Yeah, they're the pinnacle right now, and it's just going to add more excitement when they get knocked off, because they will inevitably get knocked off. You know what I mean? It'll happen. Saban's great. I respect him, but I hate Alabama. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't like nothing personal or nothing like that, but I hate exactly what you guys are talking about. I hate the whole notion of the fact that they can do it, but hey, the program is right. So all these other schools got to do is just follow the model.
They can't, Greg. That's the problem. That sounds good. They can't, Greg. They can't follow the model. Kids don't want to go to those other schools. They want to go to Alabama.
Yeah, I understand. But when you got people like Deion Sanders doing what he's doing, and I know that's a far cry, as far as like them. I
don't hate Alabama either. It just doesn't. It makes it a little less exciting. That's all.
That's all we're saying.
When they're so dominant. Yeah. I mean, kudos to Nick Saban. You give him props.
Andre in Massachusetts, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Andre?
Yeah, how you guys doing? Nick Saban certainly deserving of his props. But as Carmelo told Tony Soprano some time ago, nothing lasts forever. And so I see college football being cyclical. I see there still being excitement, as you pointed out, Rob, the nostalgia, the regionalism that people are tied to. And, just a couple years ago, LSU had, the dominant squad, the super team, and they seemed that they were invincible. Now it's different because Nick Saban has matched and exceeded Bear Bryant. And so he's kind of brought, being a Belichick assistant, he's brought that consistent excellence, Belichick, John Wooden. But at the end of the day, I believe that other teams will get themselves back in the conversation, and you will see parity going forward.
All right, appreciate it, Andre.
Thank you, Andre.
Brett in Alabama, that's appropriate. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Brett?
I just want to say roll tide, all right? I do not think that it's boring at all. I mean, it's very exciting to be an Alabama fan. Down here in Alabama, we don't have an NFL team to root for. It's all about college football for us, Alabama or Auburn. I'm a diehard Alabama fan, and even before Nick Saban got there, we had a terrible time for a number of years.
Right.
Getting the right coaches in to build the program. It was micromanaged, but with Nick Saban, he has brought a awesome program to the Alabama football thing that's not micromanaged by Mal Moore. He's not even around anymore. So, I mean, he's done an awesome job building this dynasty and all these national championships that he's gotten. My hat's off to him. I do believe that he's going to probably get another one or two before he retires and surpasses Bear Bryant to be the greatest Alabama coach, greatest coach ever.
He's the greatest college football.
I was going to say, I don't know what else he needs to do. I'm already there. Definitely.
Bear Bryant was great, but his titles were mythical.
Right. He didn't beat the other best teams in the country to win. That's why Nick Saban has an edge. Before, it used to be the Associated Press or sports writers or people like that voting to decide or determine who was the number one team. It's totally different. Justin in Tucson, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Justin?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my phone call. You guys are the best show on the radio, hands down.
Thank you, brother.
As a longtime resident of Tucson and U of A alum, we're used to the outside looking in. So my solution is this. The coronavirus taught us that we don't need to schedule these games years out in advance. We can scrap those conference games, those non-conference games 10 years out and make a requirement that the Power 5 schools have to have a requisite non-conference schedule against each other in order to qualify for the college football playoffs. You will see the players, teams will get exposed, and teams will drop off like flies. And that's my comment.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like that.
I like it if they expand the playoffs. But you know how it is, Rob. If you lose one of those early season games, it can ruin your season for a lot of teams. No more chance to get to the Final Four. A lot of times you can still get in with one loss, obviously. But that's why they don't want to play competition at the beginning of the year.
But if you watched, if you paid any money, well, to go to watch Michigan play these cream puffs, to become 4 or 5-0 to start the season.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, those games are horrible. They're just
I agree. I think it would be better if they do play better competition. I just think I think they should expand the playoffs in general.